I really got fired up with that that agape love of Jesus, right? The circumstantial kind of love, which is really more of the human essence type of love, the kind of love that even the disciples had when Jesus was with them. And it was Simon Peter who told Jesus, "Hey, we have left family, we have left houses, we have left everything we have to follow you." And Jesus goes to say, I mean, he could have just said, "Hey, you wicked generation, you of little faith." He could have gone that route, but he doesn't do that. He goes ahead and he acknowledges the fact that Peter did say something that is true, right? That they have left everything. So Jesus just goes on to tell him and his disciples, look, if you have done this for my sake, for the gospel's sake, whoever has left home, family, friends, land, property, anything, basically, you will be rewarded 100-fold. And so this is Jesus. He doesn't lie, right? He is God himself, full God, full man, 200%, right? 100% man, 100% God. And so this is the circumstantial kind of love. Hey, what is it? What do I get? What's my piece? What's my piece of the pie? Right? And so these are the disciples, right? And it's just that essence, that human love, the circumstantial kind of love that says, well, you messed up, so therefore I can't help you no more. Oh, you did this to me, so therefore I can't forgive you on that. So basically, I have to let go of this relationship. I have to do this instead of trying to work things out, instead of trying to just make things right, right? You did this because you did this. Now I will do this in exchange. That it can be eye for an eye, and I see this in the Christian church, right? I see this all the time, and it's almost like it's just, hey, a mistake was made. Maybe it was just miscommunication, and all of a sudden now there's this tension, and it's just really really weird because it's very immature. First off, and it's something that we should not do. That's why this fervent love, right? That we should have fervent love for one another, because love covers a multitude of sins, a multitude of errors and mistakes, miscommunications. That's going to happen because we're not perfect. So I kind of went a little off track there, but it's that circumstantial type of love, that human kind of love, right? So, and then there's the agape love, right? The human kind of love that we have for one another. And I would say even some of us would have that for the Lord as well. I know I did um, when I was in my young years with the Lord in this journey, and it was circumstantial kind of love. And we want to take that and go into that agape love, which is what Jesus showed at the cross. He showed us how much he loves us, right? He loves us this much, right? Well, I have my other arm over here, but basically he hung on a cross, right? Left arm, right arm, completely wide open, right? Publicly, he showed his love for us while we were yet still sinners. And going with that agape love, it's that love that the disciples were then ready to die. And it was once Jesus had already resurrected, and he was already with the Father, right? He had already left. And so they were now ready. The disciples, the apostles, they were ready to die for Jesus. They were ready to drink of the cup of bitterness that he drank from. And so it's this agape love, right? Take it from circumstantial love to agape love, which is a higher level of love that says, hey, it doesn't matter how well you perform. It doesn't matter if you do this or you don't do this for me. Hey, it doesn't even matter if you show your love towards me, if you love me in your service towards the brethren, it doesn't matter. I love you. I love you. And love is shown in action, right? The best way to show it is, yes, word and action, but it's the same with um, just being doers of the word and just hearers of the word, right? Not just being, not just hear the word, but be doers of the word, and doing the doing part. It's the meat. It's the more difficult part. It's like you have to bite down on it. It's not the it's not the drinking. It's not the milk. Because milk, you know how you just drink it. That's it. That's the easy part, right? That's just the hearing of the word, right? But doing the word. Now here we go. Let's go to the trenches, right? Let's do the work now. This is ministry. Let's go and do outreach. Let's go and preach the gospel to all nations, right? There is an action that needs to be taken for the gospel's sake. And so this is when the disciples were ready to die. But I want to go back into the Old Testament a little bit here with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And they show their love. I mean, Jesus is not here yet, right? But they know the God of Israel. They know the Almighty, the powerful, the living God, the true God, the only God who they should worship. And they do not bow down to the orders of King Nebuchadnezzar, right? To worship his statue, a man-made statue. And I love what Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego say, and they stand by this, right? I mean, they know what the consequences are. Like, it's not something that they have not been told about. If you do not bow down, I mean, they knew even before they said this to Shadrach, Meshach, and to King Nebuchadnezzar. And so then they're brought in before King Nebuchadnezzar. And so he gives them one more chance, right? And at the end of the day, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they just stepped up and they said, hey, look, you can blow those trumpets all you want. You can give us as many chances as you want, basically. But they just went ahead and they told them straightforward, like, we will not bow down to your statue. We will not be obedient to your command that you have given to the nation, right? Because our God, he is able to deliver us from your hand and your fiery furnace. But even if he doesn't, right? This is the part that just gives me this like goosebumps. It's because they know the consequences. They will be thrown into the furnace, but they go ahead and they let him know, hey, even if he doesn't, this is the agape love, right? Even if the Lord does not follow through, we will still not bow down. And boy, did they just, King Nebuchadnezzar, he was completely ticked off. The Bible doesn't say it in those words, right? That's my interpretation of it right there. But he said that furnace to be completely, the temperature to go even higher, so much so that the guards that took Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego into the fire furnace, they roasted. As they took him in there. And so they go in there. The rest is history. If you know the Bible, you know what the Word of God says is that they walked into that fiery furnace, right? And I believe when they walked into that fiery furnace, there may have been some doubt. Let's just put it that way. There may have been like, hey, this might be it, but you know what? We're gonna go down fighting. We're gonna go down swinging, and that is exactly what they did. So whether there was some doubt or not, the Lord came through. He saw their faith. It is faith that moved the Lord's heart. And so he went into that furnace with them. So if you are going through trial, through tribulation, knowing that the testing of our faith produces patience, but it's like this refining process, like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego going through the fire, but the Lord is going right there with you. He is right there with you, going through the fire right with you. And so that is what the Lord did. And that's what they told King Nebuchadnezzar. Hey, wasn't there three that went into the furnace? Why is there four? There's four people chilling out in the furnace, walking around. That fourth one looks like a god. And so it was right then and there that King Nebuchadnezzar, he promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He even told the nation, you shall not worship anything or anyone else or any other god, because the God of Israel, he is the true living God who has delivered Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And that's that kind of faith that, Lord, even if you don't come through for me in this prayer, even then, I'll still worship you, Lord. I still love you. I still will go with you wherever you send me. It's that kind of love, that agape love, which is, it's just a cut. I was gonna say it's a cut, but it's several cuts above the human type of love, the circumstantial kind of love. So with that being said, just anyhow, just wanted to share that with you. It just that story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came to mind, so I had to just do this part 2 for that. So